My name is Nawana Wilkerson, and I'm the membership manager with the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation. This is an expedition for our members and just people who love historic preservation to get acquainted with different neighborhoods throughout Georgia. And we're glad to be here today in Lithonia and Arabia Mountain to see these wonderful gems that people don't realize, they have these gems in their own neighborhood. Well, this house was a property in our revolving fund, and that fund is to purchase homes that are endangered of decay or falling down, and to step in and to purchase the house and to save it and put easements on it so that people can't overdevelop the properties and maintain the historic value.
I'm Scott Pluckon, and I am one of the co-owners of the Houseworth Mosley House in Lithonia, Georgia. My partner Keith Crosby and I purchased the house in July of 2012. We found the property, or originally first noticed the property in 2010, and fell in love with it. It's a unique thing that is little known in Atlanta. There are only a handful of antebellum properties anywhere in the metropolitan area. So when we could find a historic home that was within a commutable distance of Atlanta, we knew that this was for us. So the house was built in 1843. It sits on 7.5 acres. It has several original outbuildings, including a corn crib and a grain bin and a livestock pen. So it's a project that we've thrown our whole selves into. We sold a property in Decatur, and while the restoration is in progress, we live around the corner so we can oversee it a little more closely. We've had to install all new systems, new air conditioning, new plumbing, new electrical. We'd be doing a lot of construction in terms of recreating a front porch, side entrances, back entrance. We've done all new lighting throughout the house. We've stabilized the fireplaces and made them more usable. So while it's a drafty old home, we're looking forward to making it our own. And being part of a community that includes Arabia Mountain, one of the little known but most beautiful places in all of metropolitan Atlanta. A lot of historic homes in this area. We're part of the Klondike Historical District. In fact, we're the oldest home in the district. So we're just loving being out here, loving the community, and we're just anxious to show this beautiful home to all of Atlanta.
My name is Mike Starr. I am one of the former chairs of the Board of Trustees of the Georgia Trust. And the Georgia Trust is an organization with statewide scope that looks at the preservation of all the things that are important to the state of Georgia relative to buildings, environmental locations, and things that are important to the history of the state. This particular ramble, which is a one-day ramble, is designed to address both the environmental aspects of Arabia Mountain area and also to look at a couple of homes that have been preserved through the Endangered Properties Committee of the Trust. And one of the things that's important for us is to maintain this endangered properties list of homes, buildings, even sites that are important to the history of Georgia so that we can keep them for future generations.
Hi, I'm David McMullen, and I'm the owner of a historic property in the Klondike community of South DeKalb County in Georgia, and very near to Arabia Mountain. And we bought the property from the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation about 8 years ago. We're the second owners of this property. The original family had really owned it from the time of first settlement to this area, we have the log cabin, which you can see behind me, which was one of the first structures on the property and probably housed a family. Was probably built in the around 1840, more or less. Also on the property there's an 1890s farmhouse, which is adorable, and an 1890s barn, which we've completely had to rebuild. But still has a lot of the original features from its origins. There's an 1840s corn crib that we've done some work on, had to relocate, and then a lot of other farm outbuildings like sheds and chicken houses and tractor sheds and things like that. So it's a 10-acre property, which is whittled down from a much larger property that certainly that the family had before, and that family grew everything that they used. We see that evidence that they grew cotton, that they grew tobacco, corn, certainly anything that they ate, and timbered the timber on the property, and pretty much lived a very pioneer lifestyle here. This isn't like a grand southern estate. This is a subsistence farm.
Arabia Mountain's been very helpful in aiding us in putting this together so that we can highlight the cultural resources here. If you are a lover of historic preservation or just history and want to learn more about the great state of Georgia that you live in, then we invite you to get involved with the Georgia Trust. You can volunteer, you can come out. We have work days where we work on properties, and you can just come out and have a great time and learn about the Georgia Trust and learn about your great state.